Being overprepared is impossible, and other matters. By Please Thou 123. Here, Kakashi said, offering an instrument to Sakura. Naruto was thumping about somewhere above him, Sasuke following silently, but Sakura had been tucking groceries in the fridge, so it was just them in the kitchen. The plumber and electrician had declared the place sound enough and re-hooked up the water and power easily. Kakashi had gotten it put under his name, but the Naruto had said strongly that they would pay for them. It was the work of a few clones and an hour for the kids to gather everything they needed to move in, and they were now unpacking. One of Naruto's clones had pulled Kakashi aside and revealed he was worried about Sasuke after seeing the Uchiha Manor and how empty and isolating it was. Kakashi merely patted him on the head and told him that they had to make sure Sasuke spent all his time here then. Kakashi was proud of how well Naruto had taken stock of its teammate's situation. The Naruto from before would not have known Sasuke enough or been observant enough to notice such a thing. So Naruto had bullied Sasuke into moving most of his stuff to this place, making him take up the room next to Naruto's. Even Sakura had moved a great deal of her stuff in, leaving the bare minimum at her parents'. Sasuke had even graciously given her an extra futon from his own manor so she could have a permanent bed here. Sakura looked at Kakashi from where she was putting their combined foodstuffs away in the kitchen and only reached out when Kakashi continued holding the instrument out. She took it, running her fingers over the cherry-colored wood and the pink Sakura patterns on the silk side. "It's beautiful," she breathed, fingers running over the strings. "It's yours now," Kakashi smiled. "Kakashi-sensei, I can't accept this. It looks expensive," she protested aghast. "I got it for free," Kakashi said cheerfully. Sakura wavered, looking at the beautiful instrument she couldn't afford on her own paycheck, and her will grumbled. "Thank you, I promised to take care of it," she said solemnly. "You better," he teased, "or my mother's ghost will haunt you." Her eyes flew wide and surprised, and he vanished in a swirl of leaves before she could insist on giving it back, running off to help Naruto and Sasuke. "How many are we at?" Kakashi asked as his kids handed in the last D-rank mission scroll for the day. 28, Sakura said instantly. Good. We'll come back tomorrow then for one final sweep." The Chunin at the desk groaned. There was no rules saying they couldn't take all the missions in one day as long as it evened out over a week, but he had to deal with the teams who had planned to do a mission getting his seat when there were none. His kids merely smiled innocently at the groaning Chunin and followed him like ducklings back into the street. Sasuke had brought his mother's koto along to the Hatake Manor and finally pulled it out one evening. Naruto and Sakura oohed and awed over the quality of it as Sasuke flushed proudly. Sakura had tried returning the shamisen a few times in the last couple of days, but Kakashi pretended to be deaf and blind every time she brought the topic up, much to the amusement of Naruto and Sasuke. Kakashi had also got Naruto a new bamboo flute, was what he told her whenever she pushed. She spluttered, saying it wasn't the same, but he just ruffled her hair. "Okay." Kakashi flapped down onto the cushion set on the deck. "You've been practicing for weeks. Let's hear what Katsuya taught you in Wave." The three snapped to attention, sending looks to one another. Sasuke settled the koto gently on the polished wood porch and settled on his own cushion. Sakura sat formally in the seiza close to Sasuke and set the shamisen on her lap, bochi in hand. Naruto sat much less formally, legs hanging over the edge of the porch. Evening had settled a while ago and the sun was gone. The only light came from the living room, the paper doors thrown open so the light fell onto the porch, and the paper lanterns Sakura liked to light. The soft sound of the rain muffled the sounds of Konoha as the rain that had been spitting all day fell heavier in the nightfall. Sakura took a deep breath, looked at the boys who nodded, and struck the strings, sending notes thrilling. Kakashi listened, slouched on his cushion, book nowhere to be seen. It hit him as he sat with a cup of steaming tea near his hand and his three students starting up a song, perfectly in sync, that he was happy. The sound of rain and the traditional instruments, looking at his students' concentrated faces, feeling safe and content. Kakashi realized he was actually happy. His heart felt light, and he let himself relax to the music, and Kakashi breathed easily for the first time in a very long time.
The Chunin exam will take place in 3 days, as you well know,
the Hokage announced to the assembled crowd of Jonin.
You have all been given your duties and assignments.
Kakashi glanced across the room idly, taking in the fact most of Konoha's Jonin were packed into the room. It seemed the Hokage had recalled all Jonin back to Konoha for extra security for this exam. Not unusual.
Additionally, any sensei who would nominate entries into the exam may now step forward.
There was the usual shuffling as people glanced about, unwilling to be the first ones to draw attention to themselves. Most waited as well to see who was assured of their team enough to enter. It would hold up a marker of what level was generally expected. I nominate Team 7, Kakashi said cheerfully, snapping his book shut. Umino Iruka, the Hokage's favored chunin and paperwork nin outside of the academy, spluttered from where he was busy writing down the Hokage's words. There are 6 months under the academy, the man hissed. You think they're ready for this exam? Kakashi eyed him, looking at the Hokage's smile. Umino Iruka was a very loyal and very proficient ninja, one of the reasons the Hokage blatantly favored him. He also had a protective streak, which had made him an asset in the academy. Iruka may have only held the rank of Chunin due to skill level, but Kakashi was absolutely sure his clearance level and political power was well beyond that. Iruka was a dangerous man to cross. Kakashi really smiled at him. The Hokage watched with a fond sort of amusement, silent even as they took over the meeting. No one even thought to get between the Hokage's 2 favorite ninja in this argument, especially not with the Hokage tolerating, if not actively encouraging it. You think they aren't? Kakashi asked. They're children! As are all the students who graduate. That does not mean they are not ready. They've had barely 6 months of training under you! And it has been intensive training, Kakashi said flatly, smile slipping away. I have trained them to be soldiers and shinobi, and they are damn good! They are more than ready for the Chunin exams. Do you doubt me, Umino? Iruka finally upped, winding down, while he made his spit all he wanted, challenging Kakashi in subtle words. Even he would not question Kakashi when it came down to it. Iruka was a quick-witted man, and he knew with certainty that no good would come of challenging Kakashi's professional opinion and decisions. Kakashi met his gaze, and Iruka finally bowed out, writing the nomination down. Kakashi saw the other Jonin exchange silent looks, obviously breaking down the argument. He also saw the other Jonin sensei hesitating now, having heard the conviction in his words. Kakashi had made sure he was 100% sure Team 7 was ready. This was no wishy-washy test run for them to try in the safety of their own village. While the majority would nominate their teams just for them to see the exam in the more relaxed environment of their home territory, many would not expect their teams to pass. Kakashi expected his team to dominate!